Hi, my name is Mia. Welcome to Scrubs and Savings. I'm a 21-year-old nursing student documenting my financial journey here on YouTube. And today we are going to be budgeting my second two paychecks of February and going through all of the budget changes that I have made in the past 2 weeks. And there is a lot to unpack there, so let's just get started. I use the budgeting software You Need a Budget. I highly recommend it. I do have a referral link down below that would give you guys an extra 34 days free on top of YNAB's 34-day free trial if you sign up using my referral link. Everything in February is already funded because I am a month ahead. So we will flip on over to March. So then we will go to my bills, and I need $860 for the extra car loan payment that I am making, and I already have $473.11 in there, so that would be $26.89 to make it a nice $500, and then we will add the $360, and then we will add $9.09 to my YNAB subscription, and then we will add $4.17 to my annual gym maintenance fee. Next, we will fund my fun categories. So that would be $65 to gifts, $20 to eating out, $15 to activities, $35 to beauty, $20 to clothing, $20 to hobbies, and then one of the changes I made was adding a new category group. So I'm adding $25 to date night, $10 to little treats, and $7.15 to a category that I will not be talking about. So I have $125.40 ready to assign. So we will go over to my savings. We will skip car maintenance, but add $39 to nursing license, $50 to Christmas. We will skip all of my sinking funds here. As you can see, I added a new travel category group, and we will only add $17.71 for my Tennessee trip. And we will not be adding anything for my Roth IRA, at least for March. So then we will move on over to February, and I will add a measly $15 to my Roth IRA. And then with the extra $2.99, I'm going to add to my Final Cut Pro wish list item. So we will address the biggest elephant in the room that's ever possibly existed, which is my car loan. As you can see, there is a negative $4,280.88 transaction. So I was enjoying looking at my credit score, and I was going through all of my accounts, and I saw that the interest rate on my car loan is actually 6.69% instead of the 6.29%. And for some reason, that increase in 0.4% really set off alarms in my mind, because to me that increase in interest made the car loan a high interest debt for me. So I am a big fan of the Money Guy show, and they have a financial order of operations, which is similar to the baby steps in that it is all about what steps you need to take to optimize your finances. So step 1 is to have your deductibles covered. I don't have any deductibles because I live with my parents and they cover all of those, but I like to have a minimum of $1,000 just in case of a little emergency that I would have to cover with my own money. Step number 2 is to get your employer match, which I do with my hospital job. Step number 3 is high interest debt. And now that I am considering my car loan high interest debt, I want to get that knocked out as soon as possible. So I made the very, very big decision to pull almost all of the money from my sinking funds and make a large extra payment to my car this month. So that was $4,280.88. And then I decided to put an extra $860 payment per month to the car loan, because then my car will be paid off in September, which I could have paid less extra to the loan to stretch it out to be debt free by the end of the year, but I want to knock it out as soon as possible. So this is my current track, as you can see here, and the previous track I was on was to pay it off by September of 2026. Now, one of my bigger financial goals is to be completely debt free by the time that I move out, and of course, this is a high interest debt, and we don't want any of those as financially responsible people. Paying off this debt early will give me the mental and financial freedom to move out earlier than fall of 2026 if I wanted to. My partner and I have had long talks about when we want to move out, and we've come to the conclusion that we may want to move out earlier than fall of 2026, depending on how long we can stand our commute to our full-time jobs, because my commute is about 30 to 35 minutes on a pretty weather day, and his is about 45 minutes on a pretty weather day, and if the world were up to me, I would not have to own a car and it would take me less than 10 minutes to get to work. But that is not the world we are living in. I know this is a very big and controversial decision that I made, because I will be stopping saving money into my emergency fund and my apartment fund and investing into my Roth IRA to make sure that I can meet the payments that I want to make, at least for the next few months. But I know that in the very near future, I will be working as a registered nurse, and I will be making my full-time post-grad money while living at home. So it is more than likely that I will be able to contribute everything that I need to reach my financial goals this year, on top of paying off my car loan. I forgot to mention this, but I did get a job offer at the hospital that I currently work at in the birthing center, which is super exciting. So if I didn't have a guaranteed job after graduation, I may not have made this decision. So with that decision, I am not putting any money to my car maintenance fund. I'm still keeping all of my administrative, like monthly and annual fees, which I want to decrease the iCloud subscription, because I don't like having to have a subscription to have my photos. And I do have access to an SSD card, which would allow me to store my pictures on my phone somewhere else, which should help with the storage issue. And then for my Treat People with Kindness category, I did add a small acts category just for little things that I want to do for the people that I love, other than getting them bigger gifts. And I did make a purchase here, which we will talk about later. I didn't really make any changes to my Joyful Life category, except moving my date night category into a new category group. I made a separate category group for my relationship. This was inspired in part by Ben from YNAB Sketchy Advice video. I think it was called 5 Ways to Say I Love You with Your Money. So I moved my date night category here, and I made a little treats category, which would allow me to get little things for Nick here and there without taking away money from my dining out category or our date night category. And the last category we will not be going over, because Nick does watch these videos, and this will be a surprise, kind of. Next, for my sinking funds, it is looking very bare bones here because I took away the majority of the money to make that big payment on the car loan. So I only have $1,000 in my emergency fund right now, but I will start contributing to all of these sinking funds again once I start working full time. Then for my travel category, I created another category group because I wanted to have a bigger picture on how my travel expenses compare to the rest of my budget, because it is something that I love to do and I want to make sure that my spending is aligned with my priorities. So I think it'll give me a bigger picture on that. So I still have my We Found Wonderland, which is the group that I will be putting all of my travel expenses in. And then I have made another category specifically for the trip that I am taking so that I am not overfunding my travel category, at least for right now while I am still in college. And I still have my TSA pre-check category. And then for my investing, I have my little tiny Roth IRA, and we won't be contributing that again until I am working full time. And then I added another category group. I decided to hop onto the bank bonuses train, and I found this beautiful guide on Reddit that gives you a list of bank bonuses that you can do without changing your direct deposit. I did open one that does require you to change your direct deposit, but it is pretty easy to get it. You only have to contribute $1,000 to get the $200 bonus. So, and I used Alyssa from Cointroll Freaks referral link for that. And then I opened a Schwab account, and that should give me $101 in cash, but then I had to put $50 into that, so that's in cash, and I am comfortable with cashing that out and closing that brokerage account. I know that I'll have to pay taxes on gains, but $101 would be worth it. And then the next one I want to work on is Chime. So we will slowly be plucking away on all of these bank bonuses. I know that doing this will complicate my finances, but at this point in my life where I'm not at my highest income potential, I am starting early, I feel like any dollar that I can make right now will go a very long way for my, not just my financial goals for this year, but also setting myself up for success in the long term. And then for my wish farm, I'm feeling, I don't know if I have been watching too many Caroline Winkler videos, but I really have a strong urge to refresh my room. This has been my bedroom for the past 10 years, and because I have been living here for college and I will be living here for minimum another year, I want to make it feel a little more adult because I have not changed the way my room looks since the pandemic, and I feel like I am really not into the white walls and the white furniture. I don't plan on buying new furniture because that would not make any sense if I'm planning to move out anyway, but I feel like even just changing the sheets, getting new blackout curtains would be enough of a difference for me to feel satisfied. And I also want to sell the vanity that I have here because I really don't need it, and it takes up a lot of space that I would like to have in my room. That was a lot of changes. And lastly, I want to quickly go over all of my recent transactions in the expense breakdown. So far I have spent $5,355.56 this month, which is a very large number, but 80% of that was towards paying off debt, which is the goal. And then I'm not going to go over the things that I have already talked about. So in my treat people with kindness category, I donated an extra $5 to Tom Grossi's charity fundraiser that he is doing for children of fallen patriots or something along the lines of that, and I really enjoy his content, so I just added a quick $5 to the fund. And the last time I checked, I think he's raised $400,000, so I'm glad I could be a little part of that. And then I spent $16 in my new small acts category. I did have plans to get lunch with friends, but I had a really rough shift the night before, and I only would have gotten 2.5 hours of sleep if I went out to lunch with them like I planned, and I don't think it would have been fair to them or myself to go to lunch because I would have been absolutely miserable. And one of the girls had a night shift that night anyway, and she would have been sacrificing sleep just to hang out with me. So I had to do a rain check, and I felt bad, so I sent each of the girls $8 to get themselves a cup of coffee before their next shifts. For my Joyful Life category, I spent $17.99 on Epidemic Sound, and I spent $8 on a cup of coffee that I got when I was hanging out with a friend. And then administrative, that's the same thing as normal. And then, like I said before, I put $50 towards my Charles Schwab brokerage account. And I spent $21.91 on date night. Nick and I did a lovely 2-part date for Valentine's Day. On the 13th, we went to get the classic fancy dinner. And then on Valentine's Day, we did an at-home movie night where we watched The Wild Robot, and we got ourselves movie theater popcorn and the Nerds gummy clusters, which are a rainbow in your mouth, and some birthday cake Oreos, and I also got us a very cheap bottle of wine because the new Love is Blind season premiered on Valentine's Day. So we had to get the wine because love is wine. That's a joke, by the way. And then lastly, I moved $10 to an Acorns account, which that was very impulsive, so I cashed out on that and I will be closing that account. So a lot of spending has been done, but all of it is relatively in reason. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. If you did, please like and subscribe and comment down below what your thoughts are on any of the budget changes that I've made, especially the decision that I made for the car loan. I would love to hear it even if you disagree with me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.